All right. Well, welcome everybody. We'll go ahead and get started here. Welcome to Mazévo Connect for February. We're so glad to have everybody here. We do these every month. If this is your first Mazévo Connect, we're glad to have you. We do them on different topics every single month. This month, we're going to be talking about custom reports, which is always a hot topic for us here. Yeah, before we get started though with today's topic, I just wanted to make a couple of announcements. Here, I guess you all have seen my slide now. I'll go ahead and stop sharing that. Here. Um, okay. Anyways, a couple of announcements before we get started. Wanted to welcome, we've got some new customers this month that I just wanted to welcome into the Mazévo community. I don't know if any are on this call or not, but we've got St. Michael the Archangel Church down outside of Atlanta, Georgia that just came on board. Welcome. We've got the ESC 19 Starlight Event Center. They're down in El Paso, Texas. They just joined on board. And then Texas A&M University, Department of Residence Life, and finally Jefferson College out of Hillsborough, Missouri. So anyways, we've had a busy spring here. I guess it's not spring yet, it's winter, but already been busy to start the year for Mazévo this year. And we were just talking before this call. I mean, it's going to be busy for us this year, which is great. We'd love to see it. So super excited about that. Also, just wanted to mention the recent global admin training that we completed. That was already at the beginning of the month. I know some of you on this call attended that, and thank you for participating. It sounded like Wendy said it was a great turnout, and we had some really good questions and everything. We will be doing that again here later in the year. So if you didn't make it for whatever reason, feel free to join. It's a great way to just kind of learn if you're a new global administrator or just need to brush up on stuff. Those are great sessions to attend. So I'll be sending out stuff about that later in the year. Also, we've got a couple of conferences coming up that Mazévo will be attending. I'll be at both of those along with some of my colleagues. But the first one is ACIDI, which is the Collegiate College Event Directors Conference. It's happening down in Louisville. That happens in, I think it's about a week and a half. It's coming up quick, early March. We'll be down there for that. And then right on the heels of that, it actually kind of overlaps with that conference. There's another one going on in Pittsburgh for college unions. And so we'll be at that one as well. I love going out there because it's actually a great way to just kind of see people face to face that way. So if you will be at either of those conferences, please do stop by and say hi. We would love to meet you in person. So, all right. With that said, let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. I want to talk a little bit about our topic here today before, let me switch this up there. That's a little better. Want to talk a little bit about our topic, kind of set the stage for today's presentation. We're going to be talking a lot today about custom reports is kind of the theme that runs through this. Now, if you're using Mazévo already, that when we talk about custom reports, we usually start talking about find events. That's kind of the main custom report engine for Mazévo there. And so we want to just kind of introduce this to people. I know several of you already know about find events and how to use it, but there's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of different ways that it can be used and a lot of things that even Mazévo pros probably either overlook or didn't know it does, things like that. So that's the whole purpose for today's webinar. And we're going to be going through some of those tools so that everybody can kind of see how that works. I'm going to bring up actually my Mazévo screen just to orient everyone in case you haven't seen this before. So when we talk about find events, that's just found here under the main events menu. So everybody on this call that uses Mazévo is probably either a global administrator or an event planner. So you're going to see find events right up here. And we're going to be talking about, there's really two modes that it can be used in. Angela will first be talking about how to use it in standard mode and why you would use it that way. And then Wendy will take over and talk about the advanced mode. And when you're in advanced mode, the one point I just wanted to stress that'll just kind of help a lot of this sink in is that in advanced mode, you've got three ways to look at the data. You can either look for bookings, you can look for events, and you can look for resources. And we'll talk more about that. But bookings are how most people run it. It's just, the day-to-day schedule. Here's what we have going on. Events is kind of that higher level, right? It doesn't include booking information. It's more just what is scheduled and who has scheduled it. So a little bit more specialized when you run that. And then finally, resources. This is a lot of times used for your service providers. That's going to show you how many projectors you have going out, what kind of catering you're serving, things like that. We'll get more into this and you'll see how it works, but those are kind of the two main things we're going to be showing you. And then also, I wanted to mention that we have a very special guest joining us here today, Randall Oakes from St. Vincent College out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania. He's the events director out there. He's actually going to be talking about a special use case that they are just now implementing with Mazévo and Find Events that I am sure not a lot of people are aware of, that you can do some of these things. So he's actually going to be showing you what they are doing out there. So we're super excited to have him joining as well. So anyways, now that I've kind of set the stage on that, I'm going to welcome our first presenter. And by the way, I didn't do introductions of the Mazévo staff. I usually do that. But I've got here today joining us Angela Covington. She's on our training and support team for Mazévo. We've got Wendy Newland here as well. Also, many of you know her. Wendy's also on our training and support staff. And then we've got Claire DeGroat, who helps me on the sales side as well. So it'll be the four of us on the Mazévo team here with you all today. So the last thing I'll mention before I turn it over to Angela is that the way we run through this, we do encourage this to be interactive. So if any questions come up during the presentation, please just put them in the chat, in the Zoom chat. You can just put them in over there. We will be keeping an eye on that so we can answer them that way. Also, depending on time, we should have a few minutes at the end as well. We'll also open it up for Q&A then. And that's a great time if you want to unmute yourself or something like that. We can take questions that way. So without further ado, I want to welcome Angela and I'll turn things over to her.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Brian.
Mhm.
Well, let me see. One moment. This didn't exactly work like I thought it was going to. Okay. Can you see my
We're
screen?
seeing your notes. So we're
Uh-oh.
seeing the agenda. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I knew that was going to happen. One moment.
Hey, I'm no one to talk today. All right. So I get it. I get it.
I had it ready.
There we go. We're seeing your Zoom or your Mazévo screen. So
Okay, great. All right, it's not exactly where I want it, but that's okay. Too many screens. Okay, sorry about that. I'm Angela. I'm going to show you how you can really quickly use a find events, the find events tool to find something. And I know Wendy's going to talk a little bit more about configuring, but with the standard find events, you don't really have to do a lot of configuring, which is so great about it. So for find events, as Brian said, you've got a standard function and there's multiple options here. So let's say we just want to see everything that's happening today. We simply select today and it's going to show all the bookings that are occurring today in your buildings and rooms. One thing to take note is that if you are looking for a canceled status, it will not show this without selecting include all statuses. So that's one, sometimes people are looking for canceled bookings, that's a way to include more statuses in your search. So once you do that and you pull this, there are some things you can do. You can search for anything that's in this grid. So if you want to search for, let's say, an event contact, you can search there. You can search for anything specific building if you're looking for everything in the Wilson Recreation Center, or even by your organization or event name. We're always picking on the basket weavers here. So anything you type in here, you can search on. The other thing you can do if you really want to refine this and look for something a little more detailed, there are some other options here. You can search for specifically contact or a room or an event name. Make sure if you use this one that you put at least 5 characters in there. But what we're going to do is we are going to look for an organization here. Let's search for everything that the basket weavers are having. And maybe we want to expand our search a little bit. Let's look and see what's happening this month. So now you've got more information here. Once you pull this, there are still some other things you can do. You can search, let's say you want to jump forward to March. You can see everything happening in March, or you can also jump backwards. You can change this to see events versus bookings. So if you just want to see the events, you can select this. You can actually even select the bolded area and it will take you directly to that event. So it'll open up a new window and you can go directly to that event if there's something you need to edit or look at. So you can either close this window or go back to find events. You can also sort each of these columns. So if you'd like to sort by status, you can do that, or by contact, you can do those sorting tools. Something that some people may not know is you can group. So you can add a group to this if you want to group by the room. You can see that it's grouped there, and you can even add columns. So if you'd like to see the attendance or you want to see who the event coordinator is, here's some of the columns you can actually add to this. Okay, you can also export a report. So if you'd like to export to PDF or Excel, you can do that here. You can save the view. And you can make it available to others. And once you do that, to go back and find it, you go back to find events. You can find your view here, and you can look to see if you want to run it, you can subscribe to it. You can subscribe others to it also. One thing to keep in mind if you're subscribing somebody else to this is an interactive report, and they do need to be a Mazévo user and logged in order to be able to pull the information. Something new that we just came out with a few weeks ago is you can now change the owner of a report. So if you'd like to change this to Brian, you can change it over and move it to him. Any questions so far? Anything in the chat, Brian?
Nothing that
Anything I
see
missed
yet.
on that?
So, no, this is great.
Okay.
All right. So at this point, that was kind of the basic mode of find events right there. Now Wendy's going to go through some more specific use cases and specifically on advanced find events. So if you're advanced, be ready. Here we go.
I've got about 67 to 70 use cases here, Brian. That should get us to the end of the day.
Yeah. I think we can wrap up by 5. That'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay. So as Brian said, I'm going to show you some of the things that we have seen customers have called and asked, do you have a report that does X? Well, I know that a lot of you have event questions that you show to your requesters and they answer the question. And some of you have said, well, I'd like a report on those questions. So that definitely is in the advanced category. So let me just show you how you could run that, right? So I'm going to do advanced. Let's just do this month. Right. And I'm going to look at the information on the events line, I just want to see the events with these questions, okay? I'm going to add the column of the question. And I have a question, will you be serving alcohol? So I'm going to add that column. And all you do is just click in this white space, start typing the name of the question, and it will take you to it. All right, so let's look now at this report. So you'll notice here that here are all the bookings, and here's the column of, well, how did they answer that question? Well, a lot of these bookings or these events that came in don't have the answer to that question because it wasn't required by the requester. And some of them are even classes. I want to eliminate those from my report. It's just gunking it up, right? So I can add a filter, and I'm going to do status. And I'm going to do the alcohol question. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to do the event question. Boom. Okay, so the status is confirmed. And the event question I want to filter on is, are you serving alcohol? Now I have a much shorter report. So there's a report of who answered the question and how did they answer. All right, another example. You may want to know revenue by perhaps catering for the month. So let's go back to events, or find events, advanced. I will do this month. So now I'm going to take it up a notch, and we're going to view our information by resources, okay? Now you'll notice there's a lot of columns here. I don't need all this. So a best practice is kind of eliminate the columns that you don't need. I don't necessarily need the notes that might go with the resources. I'm going to filter on the service provider of catering, so I'm going to eliminate that. I don't necessarily need service start, service end. So just kind of take out those columns to condense your report a bit. All right, so now I'm going to add a filter, and I want to filter on just confirmed events because I don't care about revenue of canceled events, right? And I'm also going to filter on the service provider of catering. So just confirmed events and just the service provider of catering. So here we go. Here's the money that I made on all of these. Now, remember, you can always do your little grouping and say, okay, well, here's what I made off box lunches. Here's what I made off breakfast services, so on and so forth. I'm going to remove that. I want to point something out to you here. There's a couple of things, couple of resources that don't have any charges with them. And I want to eliminate those. On this report, it's not that big of a deal because my report's kind of short, but you may have a huge report and you just want to remove those lines that don't have any charges with them. So I'm going to go back to my filter, and I am going to add this little guy here with pricing only. All right, so now I'm saying, hey, just show me lines with pricing. And I also want to see anything that I've given a discount to. So I'm going to go back up here and add the column of discount. Click on search. My report is a little bit shorter because I've eliminated those items that don't have charges with them. But I'm also seeing a column of discount. So I've been giving discounts on pie. Okay. All right. Another biggie. How long does it take to process requests? You're probably getting that question at your organization. Well, how long is it taking our event coordinators to process requests that are coming in? Let me show you a nifty one here. Again, advanced. Let's do since the beginning of the year. So I'm going to choose January 1st through today. Let's look at bookings. So I choose the booking one. I'm going to remove some columns that aren't that important. Services, contact, And let's now add the columns of approval. I want to know in days how quick we are, and maybe some hours too. Okay. Now let's do a little filter here. Let's do event origin. Boom. And I'm going to add requester. I'm just concerned about events that have come in from the requester and how quick we are at approving them. All right, let's add another filter here on status. Just want to see confirmed and anything in a request status. Okay, search. So there we go. These are still sitting there waiting to be approved. So we're a little slow on these, but this took no time at all. This one, wow. 15.25 hours, or days, I'm sorry, 367 hours. So you get a sense here. Again, you can do all this, your sorting and filtering and whatnot. But just provides some interesting metrics to see how quick you are. Okay, another one that we hear a lot about is events by source. Like, where are my requests or my reservations coming from? So some of you use a room sign, and most of you use the requester piece. So let's just take a quick look. Let's do an advanced one. Let's do from the beginning of the year. January 1st through today. And let's look at bookings. Let's remove a couple columns. Don't need that. And let's do event origin. And notice I just start typing and I started typing the word event. Let's filter now on event origin because I don't want to see everything the event planners have made. I just want to see what the requesters have made, and I want to see if any events have been made through my room sign, if you're using the room sign. So here we go. Looks like 17 events since the beginning of the year, and they've all come in from the requester. I don't have any from the room sign. I'm just going to plop that up there and take a quick look, because remember, you can slice and dice, and then down here's my totals. Okay. All right. Another one, resource usage. Maybe you are interested in knowing about your audiovisual. So I will do this month. I'm going to use resources. And I'm going to get rid of the notes column. Don't necessarily need it. Don't really need the amount. Let's filter on the service provider and status, because I just want to see the usage. Where's my status? There we go. Okay. Now we're going to do just confirmed, and we're going to do AV. Here we go. Let's search. Yeah. I'm going to show you something sneaky here. Get our pictures out of the way. Sorry about that. All right, so here's the resources I've been using. And if I want to see, well, what resource am I using the most? I can grab my little resource guide, pull it up here, and I can see the quantities. But I'm curious, what's my busiest day of the week for resources? So I'm going to come back to my filters here, and I'm going to show day of the week. So I'm adding that column, day of the week, continuing to leave these filters alone. Click on search. So now I've got a day of the week column. And if I grab this, move it up, I'm going to remove the resource filter here. So it looks like, okay, Monday, kind of, Sunday, kind of, Wednesday. Wednesday is the big day for AV usage. So that's my little plug for day of the week. All right. After hours reports, a lot of you need to run a report or have a report sent out to maybe security or building managers. Here's all the events that are happening after hours. So let me just do another find events. I'll go back to advanced. We're going to look at all the bookings, and we're going to do it for this month. I'm going to add a little filter by status. Just my confirmed bookings. You may want to see your academic confirmed too, because your classes may be after hours, right? All right, I'm going to add another filter. Time of day. All right, so I want to see all bookings after, and then let me see something real quick here, because I may want to add a column. No, I'm good. All right, so I'm just going to look at all my bookings after 5 o'clock. Now you can do reserve time or event time. I'm going to do event time and click on search. Here we go. Here's all my bookings this month that are after 5 o'clock. Now this one starts at 4, but you see it's after 5. So security may need to know, building managers, etc. All right, let's now do events by event coordinator. We're hearing a lot more about event coordinators. A lot of our customers assign events to event coordinators, and then they want to look at a list of events that maybe they haven't assigned yet. So I'm going to go to find events, back to advanced. Let's do this month. I'm going to look at everything in the event view, and I'm going to display the column of event coordinator. I'm going to add a filter, and I just want to see my confirmed. There's a theme here with confirmed. Right. And by the way, you could do this by building. I could add a filter on building, whatever the case may be. All right, I'm going to hit search. All right, so here are all the events, and these have got an event coordinator, obviously the ones that have a name there. I could group this if I want. Here's all my list of events that do not have an event coordinator. But I do want to point this out, these little funnels. If I just do is null, now I've just got a report of, well, here's all my events that I need to assign a coordinator to. So explore those little funnels. All right. Another one, attendance over 100. Maybe you want to run a report for all the events for your security department that have more than 100 people coming. So let's do this month. And I'm going to show in bookings. I'm going to remove what's not important. Service is not important. Contact is important. Why? Because I may want to reach out to that contact. Hey, you've got over 100 people. Security is going to be checking on you. But I'm also going to add the setup count to my columns. I'm going to look at my status here. And Let's do a quick search here. Again, you could filter by building if you wanted to. Get our pictures out of the way. Go over here. All right. Here's the events. Some of them have 0 with them. And remember, I just want to see things over 100. So I can use my little funnel guy here. Is equal to, is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to put in 100. Boom. There's my bookings for this month that have over 100 people. So there you go. There's about 8 use cases or different ways that we've heard people say, hey, I'm trying to find a specific report that does this little piece of data, etc. So now I'm going to turn it over to our a guest speaker, Randall Oakes, coming to you live from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And Randall, if you wouldn't mind sharing some glorious things about your school.
Sure, sure. So depending on if you're a local or not, it's Latrobe or La Trobe. Locals are Lay Trobe. So just some fun facts about, I say La Trobe, I'm not a local, but I can throw it around, Latrobe around a few times too. But we are the home of Rolling Rock, birthplace of Banana Splits. Yes, Banana Splits, Arnold Palmer, and Mr. Rogers himself. And St. Vincent, we are actually the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp in the summer. And so our offices are housed in the Fred Rogers Center, which also houses the Fred Rogers Institute. And the Fred Rogers Institute has all of the foundation, Fred Rogers Foundation archives. So Mr. Rogers' handwritten drafts of "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood," those are housed here. His grand piano, puppets, some of the stage pieces are all housed here in the archives when they're not on tour and different things as well for exhibitions. But so as you can imagine, we are pretty busy here, and our legal department is pretty thorough in how our contracts are worded, how they are laid out. And you'll see a little bit later on how many pages our contracts are. And so when we moved over to Mazévo, we needed a way to merge the data that we're putting into our event. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. And if at any time I'm going to be jumping through different screens as I kind of show you this way we merge and use find events to get our contract. So if at any time the screen pops off, just let me know. So I created a sample event here that you can see just that I put in using all of those things. So when we create a contract, we have multiple pages, and every page probably has something from the event that we're creating that needs to be on there, whether it's the confirmation number, the contact, the address of the organization that's booking it. So this is all for our external clients that are renting our spaces. So whenever our external event coordinator is working on doing that contract, she's coming in here. We created these event questions. In EMS, you might have known them as, they were user-defined fields, but we're using the event questions for that purpose here to help us merge into our contract document. So our coordinator would answer all of these questions. When's the first deposit amount, how much it is, when is it due, all of these questions you can see here populated that is going to filter into our contract. So using find events, we're using the advanced section here, and we chose all of the display columns. So those are all of our merge fields that we need. I added a bunch of filters too, but to move it faster and all of that, we saved it as a view so that I can run this when I need to. So I know that event is on March 30th. I need to do the contract. I need to execute the contract for them. So I'm going to use find events using all of the display columns that I need. And I know it's the gala. And then from here, I would export. So I would export that into my Excel sheet. Can you see my Excel sheet there that popped up? No.
No, we're just seeing
I
your
probably have to
Mazévo.
re-share that screen.
Yeah.
share that. I'm gonna have to click reshare to every window.
Yeah.
You can see it now.
Yeah.
So that exports into this document, which as you can see, it has everything that we selected. And we also want to thank the Mazévo team. One of the portions that was missing for us was the address, the city, the zip code that we needed to pull, and they added that for us. Well, for everybody in the display columns that you can choose as something that you can pull in find events. So you can see here all of that information that I talked about. These are all my merge fields. These are everything that is going to have to go into my contract. Let me share my next screen here. So here is my contract, and you will see it is 10 pages. Every page has something that needs information from that Excel sheet. So I've created this template. It's saved. I have all of my merge fields all ready to go. So no matter how many times I pull that Excel sheet and save it on my desktop or wherever you want to save it as event number 10 or gala event, I just select that as my new existing list here that I would choose. I'm not going to go through that part. So I already have it selected. Let's see, once I merge it here, I might have to jump into another new screen because it's going to open up a new window. Do you see the merge one? Not yet.
I don't think so.
Okay. I need to show you this one. You see it now where it says events and conferences is the purchaser,
Yeah.
spring gala. So you can see it merged all of that data in for me, multiple pages. Here's a page. It's now put the address and all of that. I made myself the purchaser here as the example. Scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I'll show you even another, all the way to where the confirmation number is merging here real little, but it's required for our legal department. They want to make sure that's on there, that it ties with the confirmation. And then you can see all of those questions that we have, the due dates, the amounts that are due, when we need their catering guarantee. All those event questions that we created are pulling onto this contract. From here, we can save it as a PDF, send it off, upload it into the event documents of the event, and keep everything nice and tidy so that we have all of the information that we need to have, and we're not missing something on page 7 that we needed to make sure, human error, we forgot to put that confirmation number on here. So we're using it to merge and to populate our contracts.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That is such a cool use case for doing merges because, it's like without being super technical, right? I mean, sometimes people can do it, I guess, if you know how to use APIs and do all that kind of stuff. But to just be able to use Excel and Word and stuff you're probably already doing today, that's great. So thank you, Randall, for showing that. So those were the use cases that we wanted to kind of go through on Find Events. I don't know if this spurred any other questions. I saw there were a couple of questions that came through in the chat while we were doing this, but if anybody has any additional questions, we do have a little bit of time. Feel free to ask those. I also realized too, I was going to plug last month we had a great Mazévo Connect session on event questions. We recently revamped some things, added some things to event questions for your requesters. So if you're taking a lot of requests or getting your system set up to do that, check out last month's recording. It's really, really good. For those of you that don't know, we have a whole YouTube channel, and I'm going to put that in the chat here so everybody has it that's on this webinar. But check out our YouTube channel. It's where I put all the previous Mazévo Connects, but we also have a lot of training videos up there as well. So it's just a good resource for just, Mazévo knowledge and getting information that way. So I'll put that in the chat as well. But yeah, does anybody have any questions? Here we got one coming in from Rochelle. Okay, this is a good one. And Wendy or Angela, if either of you want to take this, how do you find a new organization or client that was added within the last 6 months? I know we're
A new organization.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go
date
to my
added.
And find this. Yeah, we could probably do it not through find events though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to organizations.
So this will be good. I mean, this is kind of, you're hearing here Wendy's thought process on like, okay, because we get questions like this all the time. It's
Okay,
like,
all.
how do I do X,
Oh,
Y, and Z?
I found
And
it.
so it's like, okay, where do we go for that? So yeah, Wendy, why don't you go ahead and
Yeah, let me see if I can share here. Boom. Can you see my screen?
it's coming up. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how I would do it. I went to organizations. I'm in cleanup mode, and there's this column, date created. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, that's good.
When was the organization created?
That's what
Yep.
within the last 6 months. So you just sort the column and then you can
Yeah.
kind of see all of those that way.
So Rochelle's been trying to stump me for, I don't know, a couple years. So Wendy 1, Rochelle 0 today.
She
Okay.
almost got there though. She almost got there, I think. So yes. Yeah. All right. Here we got another one coming in. So I'll just read it out. When running reports, there are filters for tomorrow and today, plus a number of days. Is it possible to run a report for tomorrow plus a number of days? I can take this one myself. No, we don't have that. Today plus a number of days is basically it. Those are really just there, to give you a quick way to do things, but obviously they don't encompass the gamut of everything because we're trying to balance too, like you don't want that list to get too long, probably. Although you could argue, what's one more? We just want one more in there. But no, there's no way to do tomorrow plus a number of days. So, um, oh, okay. So Kyla's asking if we can change the time on report subscriptions. So for those of you that aren't aware, you can subscribe to reports, and those reports will go out if you say you want them every day or a certain day of the week, they will go out on that day of the week. Now, the way our system runs is this is something that runs in the middle of the night, essentially. And so there is no way to change the time on that. It's just going to run in the middle of the night. So uh, sort of a way around this, but it's not completely what you're asking for, is that when it sends out the report, it does send out a URL link. So that report is really not run until somebody actually clicks the link. So if I don't get to work until that afternoon, even though that report went out in the middle of the night, but I click the report in the afternoon, I'm getting that afternoon's version at the second I click the report of the data. So it's kind of a compromise there, but yeah, there's no way to change the time of day. It's always going to go out at the same time in the middle of the night. So,
Spencer just sent that.
oh, Spencer. Okay. Putting in, that's good. I'm not looking at Mazévo here, but published reports have the option for tomorrow plus a number of days. I stand corrected. So, it's already in there. Okay, there we go. Tomorrow plus a number of days. I should have known that. I write up a lot of the new feature ones, and I now recall that we added that new feature, I don't know, sometime in the last 6 months. So there we go.
Oh, Randall
Yeah.
uses it for room cards. Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Spencer.
Well, of course you remember then. Yes. You asked for that one. Okay,
Anybody else know
good.
about any enhancements we don't because you recommended them?
Right?
Hey, somebody's got to keep us honest, I mean, it's hard. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, 2 a.m., Kyla, that sounds right. That's about the time those things go out, kind of the middle of the night when our servers have nothing else to do. They just start sending thousands and thousands of emails. Literally, I mean, that's a lot go out. So, yeah. All right. Got a few more minutes. Anybody else? Any last? Oh, I didn't put the YouTube
YouTube.
channel in there, so let me do that. Got it right here. So let me paste that in. That YouTube channel that I mentioned, if anybody wants it, there you go. It's in the chat. So just head on over there for our latest videos. This video, by the way, this webinar, if anybody needs to watch it again or wants to send it to their friends, it will be posted up there in a couple of days, probably early next week. So you can watch it there. And I will send an email to everybody on this webinar, letting you know when it gets posted. So just look for that. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions roll through. So I want to thank everybody who joined us here live today. We love doing these Mazévo Connects. We love the engagement, and we hope this was helpful for everyone. Stay tuned for next month. We're working on planning what the next month topic is. And again, I want to thank our special guest today, Randall Oakes from St. Vincent. And we appreciate you sharing your use case of Mazévo there. And yeah, everybody else, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.